Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Julie. I go by Mrs. Frugal Trash to Cash on Instagram. With the help of my husband, we are full-time resellers. Our main platform is eBay, but we do sell some on Poshmark too. So recently I opened up my DMs in Instagram for questions. I said, if you have any questions about eBay that you would like me to answer in an upcoming video, just send me a message. And I got quite a few. I don't know if I'll be able to touch upon all of them in today's video, but I'll do my best to go over a large majority of them. So the first question, let me refer to my list, kind of takes us back to the whole beginning. Someone asked me what my favorite item that we ever sold was. And this item made us a lot of money, but it also sparked our entire reselling journey. So back in 2020, my husband lost his full-time job of 16 years, and we were kind of just off for a while during the pandemic when everything was shut down. And we saw an ad where someone was having an estate clean out where everything was free. And so we decided to go to it and see what we could find there. And there was an old sewing machine that my husband grabbed at the last minute. And we ended up selling that old sewing machine on eBay for $300. And it was just like an epiphany moment. Like, people give stuff away that is worth a lot of money that we could sell and make money off of. And that's really how we got our start. We would look for free stuff and look for curb alerts. We would drive around on trash night. In the beginning, we flipped furniture and large stuff. Like when the world was still just opening back up from the pandemic. So yeah, that was like the whole beginning, the making us see the light that, you know, it was possible to support yourself in reselling, do it from your house, have very low overhead, and still make a great living. So that sewing machine will always hold a special place in my heart. And not just because it sold for $300, but because it started this entire adventure. Let's see, what will we talk about next? Oh, someone asked how long it took to support ourselves. Our journey is a little bit different. So I actually started my Instagram account, and originally I was just Mrs. Frugal. I added the trash to cash when I started to resell, but I started my Instagram account. It'll be, I think, 5 years this July. And I started it as an account that was all about becoming debt-free. At the time, we had over $900 in car payments a month, and I was just unhappy with my job, and I just wanted some freedom in my life. And so I vowed to pay this debt off. And there's a whole community online known as the DFC, debt-free community, where everyone kind of supports each other. And so I jumped in, joined that community. We ended up paying our debt off in less than a year, both of our car loans. We started saving for retirement, and we had our 6-month emergency fund all set up. So we were really set financially because of that. I actually quit my job, I guess about 9 months before the world shut down. And so we were just living on one income, my husband's one income, and we were fine. I was just taking some time off to get my head in a good place after working nonstop pretty much since I was 15. And so we had very low bills, and we were able to just jump in with both feet. It was like, we sold the sewing machine. It was like, wait, I think we can make a living out of this. And originally my husband got another job and was going to go back to work, and that job only lasted 6 weeks because they had overhired and people still weren't going out into the restaurant industry because of the pandemic. So we had enough in savings to float us that it wasn't a big deal. So we went from not reselling to being full-time resellers instantly. And that's not normal for most people. But I would say we started making enough to actually completely support ourselves probably in only 3 or 4 months. But as I said, we have very low bills. We live a very simple lifestyle, so it's not going to work that way for everyone. But that is our story on how long it took for us to become full-time resellers. All right, the next question is a good one. Someone wanted to know the bins process, what we take to the bins, how we prepare, how we act when we get there, more or less. So I'll give you a rundown of it. So when we go to the bins, we each take like an IKEA kind of style bag, and we have a strap attached to it, like what you would take off of a laptop bag or a duffel bag, so that we can wear it kind of cross-strapped across from us, because when we're in actually picking the bins, you can't really have your cart right next to you. So when it's frantic and everybody's grabbing stuff, we each have a bag on attached to us that we can throw our stuff in. So we each always take a bag. I carry in my purse a baggie of screwdrivers, various batteries, trying to think if there's anything else, and I guess that's it, screwdrivers and batteries to test items, because you'll come across a lot of items that take batteries, and who wants to buy it, get it home, and then find out it doesn't work. At the very minimal, a screwdriver to open it up to see if there's corrosion or whatever. So we always have that on us. Hand sanitizer, because, you know, it's gross. They have a bathroom there too, but a lot of times I just want to quickly sanitize my hands after a change. We each get a cart, and as we're picking through the day, we just are dumping the bags that we have on our bodies into the cart. And then whenever there's downtime in between the changes, we kind of move everything to one cart, and then I just stand there and with Justin and I both on our phones, and we just start looking any of the items that we're not 100% sure of up. And plus going over all the items, seeing if anything has flaws in it, stains, etc. And then if we like an item, it goes into the cart of the items that we're keeping, and if not, it gets just thrown back in one of the bins. So that's pretty much how we work it out. And then at the end of the day, where we live, clothes and shoes don't have sales tax, but everything else does. So we have to sort our cart. Like one cart is all clothes and shoes items, and another cart is everything else, because when they check you out, they weigh your items, and we have to have it separated. As for bin etiquette, every location is different. Ours, they just make us kind of all stand back. They bring the bins out, and then once the last bins comes out, they say go, and everybody just rushes forward and grabs stuff. Yes, occasionally you're gonna get ran into. You might get elbowed. Occasionally people are nasty, but honestly, for the most part, it's not too bad. But I know there are some locations where it is absolutely crazy. It's definitely intimidating at first, you know, and it's funny because I always say to my husband, I must just have a welcoming face, because I often get people that come up to me that say, I've never been here before. Can you explain it to me? And I happily explain it to them. I remember how I felt the first time I went. It's definitely overwhelming and intimidating, but I just recommend everybody try it. I mean, when we go, we stay anywhere from like 3 hours till sometimes an entire day there, because they're continuously bringing the bins out. I would definitely say try it more than once, because every once in a while you just get a crappy day at the bins, and if you just give up your first time there, you could definitely be missing out, because you can really source some good items for very little money at the bins. So that's pretty much how we do our bins day. Oh, and one other tip, we pack a lunch and bring it in the car if we're staying for a long time. It seems like most people that go to the bins go to the restaurants that are all around it, but we're too cheap for that. So we always have food and drinks in the car, and we just go to the bathroom, wash our hands good, use hand sanitizer also, and then go out and take turns having our lunch. And one other tip is, cover your cart with like a sheet or something if you're leaving it unattended, because people will steal from you. They're not supposed to, but they will. So that's how our bins work. So the next question was, do I list on my phone or my laptop? And for me, I do kind of a weird combination. I think I showed it in a previous video, but if I'm out and about, or if I'm listing from somewhere else because I have photos on my phone, I will 100% do it from my phone, which is fine for me. But if I'm sitting at my desk, I will look the item up on the computer, just because the screen's bigger, I can see more items on it, etc. And then I'll just hit sell similar on the computer, and then that sends the draft to my phone, and then I complete it on my phone. I just do not like the eBay form on the computer to list. I don't know why. It's like 50-50. Some people cannot stand a list on their phone. Some people cannot stand a list on their computer. I prefer to list on my phone, but I really do like doing the research and looking up on the computer just because the screen's bigger and, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's easier. I kind of just work in tandem with the two of them. So there is no right or wrong way, whatever you are most comfortable with. Oh, and then the other question I was going to talk about right now was the least amount of profit we take. Someone asked, what's the least amount of profit we take? Now, I feel like there's two answers to this question. When I'm sourcing items, I always want to source items that normally, in the ideal world, I'd like to make at least a $15 profit on. But if it's something that requires very little effort for photographing and very little effort for packing, I'm fine with a $10 profit. I mean, now that we've been doing this for a while and we sell anywhere from 16 to 20 items a day, you know, it all adds up. So as long as it's not something that's complicated to pack, like I am never going to buy something that involves like using lots of bubble wrap and like breakable item that's going to take me a while to pack to make a $10 profit. No way, like that's not worth my time. But if it is a t-shirt that I take like 4 pictures of and throw it in a bag to ship, then I'm fine with that. So, you know, it all just depends. But if I have bought something, already spent the time to photograph it, and it just ended up being a bad buy, maybe it wasn't a good size, maybe I saw a flaw in it and it's ending up not selling for as much, then I'm pretty much fine with taking any profit that I make on it. I mean, if I put it at a garage sale, chances are I'm gonna get like a quarter for it. So as long as I'm making at least like $1, I just want it gone. Like I take the money that I made, get it out of my inventory and move on with my life. So I never buy stuff with the intent to make that little money on it, but it happens sometimes because we're not perfect. Sometimes we buy stuff and it's not good. Sometimes you buy stuff and it's flawed and you're just trying to like make your money back. As long as, you know, I'm breaking even or more, I'll sell it on eBay. If I'm not going to break even, then I'm just going to donate it or throw it out at a garage sale. Next question was, how do we get so many sales and did it increase as we had more listings? And the answer to that is yes, it definitely increased as we got more listings, but there's a caveat to that. You can put thousands and thousands of things in your store, but if you're listing stuff that either people don't want or your prices are too high, it doesn't matter how many listings you have, your items aren't going to sell. So as we built our store and figured out which items sell really well for us, the sales definitely increased. They say the rule of thumb is for every 100 like items you sell or have for sale in your store, you should sell like 1% of them a day. So if you have 100 items listed, you should average 1 sale a day. If you have, you know, 500 items listed, you should average 5 sales a day. We bounce between 900 and 1,000 items in our store. And right now we sell between 16 and 20 items a day. So our percentage is definitely higher, but obviously we've been doing this for a while. We know what sells, you know, we have a better idea of what to put in our store. So when you have more items, obviously you have a higher percentage chance of them selling, but you need to also source items that people are looking for because just numbers alone is not going to get you the sales. It also helped, in the beginning I didn't promote anything, and I know that's a big subject. Some people don't promote their listings at all, but in the beginning I didn't promote, and then probably after we had been selling maybe like 6 months, I decided to promote everything to 2%, and that kind of catapulted us from like an average of 5 sales a day to like 8 or 9 sales a day. And then it just started growing from there. So yes, it will increase when you get more items, but it also depends on the items. Someone asked about Flip. I've talked about Flip. I actually have a highlight saved about it on Instagram, like how to use it, but it's like I guess, is it like a Chrome extension? I'm not sure what it's called, but you can only use it on your computer, and it's a free cross-listing and sharing platform. I love it, use it all the time. That's how I share on Poshmark so easily and quickly, and it's how I cross-list all my items. Well, someone wanted to know if you have to list on eBay first and then cross-list on Flipped, and I do believe you can list on any platform first and then choose which one you want to cross list on, but I personally always list on eBay first and then just quickly go over to Flipped and share on Poshmark, because eBay, you have to put in all your shipping information and you don't have to do that on Poshmark. So for me personally, it's just easier to do the eBay listing on actual eBay and then just quickly do the cross listing to Poshmark on Flipped, but that's just my personal preference. Let me see. Oh, someone wanted to know if it's worth it to fill out all the item specifics on eBay. eBay says it is. I don't, and I still get a lot of sales. I fill out what needs to be filled out. You know, if it's clothing, I'll fill out like the size, obviously, the color. I'll say like what the material is. If it's made in the USA, I make sure like I know that, like, you know, in the manufacturing country or whatever. But no, I don't fill out a large majority of the items and I still get sales. So as long as you're filling out the main ones, the kind of like the keywords that people are searching for, you're fine. All right, and the last question I'm going to answer is someone asked me about my listing process. So I'm going to walk you through photographing and measuring 2 pieces of clothing, and then how I list them and package them afterwards. So I have just a woman's top here. I keep little strips of tape because I like to tape the arms kind of out just so they can see how the top falls. Super simple. Just put my phone in square mode. I'm going to snap an overall picture. I walk close, snap a picture of the tag, then a picture of the print. If there was any kind of detailing on any part of it, I would get close-up pictures. I go inside for a picture of the tag, then flip it over, take an overall picture of the back. Like I said, if there was any kind of detail on the back, I would take close-up photos of it if there was any flaws. And then I just quickly lay it down here on my bench, spread it out, and I always have a yardstick laying here. And I take a photo of the measurement going from armpit to armpit, and then from shoulder to hem. And that's how I do a top. Sorry, noisy. Now I'll quickly do a pair of pants so you can see how I do those. Here's a pair of men's pants. We don't need the tape. Take that away. Take my overall first picture. Then I just do a close-up of the top, close-up of the bottom. Turn it around to the other side. Overall picture. Close-up at the top, close-up at the bottom. I'm going to unhook it. Take photos of brand tags and size tags, style tags, whatever. Jeans will have all different tags in them. You just kind of have to see what has the relevant information. And then pants get a few more measurements than clothes. I do the waistband, the rise, and the inseam measurement. Oops, I turned the camera around. I just tried to take a picture of my face. And then the last is I take a picture of the measurement of the leg opening. And that's all for the measuring. So next we'll head over to the listing process. So normally I do photographing of at least 20 some items. In this basket would be brimming, but right now I just have my 2 items in it. So normally as I photograph stuff, I fold it and put it in this basket, bring it over, and then I bring over a box. And this is where we put the items after they've been listed. So next to me on my desk, I have my scale and the bags that I put in, and then these are just my numbered labels that I fill out myself for the SKUs for my items. So as I mentioned, I do a weird combination listing of my phone and the computer, but for the first one we'll list, sorry, is the women's shirt. Because this is, oh, got a counter offer on weights. Because this is just a random like pattern, it's a Lori Goldstein shirt, I will look it up trying with Google Lens to see if I can easily find it to take me to the listing. So I just put the picture in Google Lens, and sure enough, there's one listed on eBay. So I'm gonna click that one, hit visit, and it brings me up to that listing. So I'm just gonna hit sell one like this, and I will add my own photos, which are the ones we just took. Those will upload. All right, and then the title, they have the name of it, logo Lori Goldstein, tunic top. I'm gonna change some of the stuff in it because it's not the same size and mine's not new. Tunic top, stretch, long sleeve, black, red. And then I'll just change mine to women's size XL. All right, and that's good for the title. Go down to the condition. Mine is pre-owned, so click pre-owned. Mine is regular, it's not plus size, so I'm gonna change that. And mine is a size XL, so I'll put that in. Blouse, multicolor, women's, that's all fine. Tunic, round neck, classic fitted sleeves, long sleeves, floral pattern, rayon. It does not have pockets, so I'm clearing the pockets part of it off. Colorful, stretch. I don't know why the character says Andrea. I'll get rid of that. Knit, pullover. So everything else is correct. So for custom SKU, I'm going to go down. This one is number 2762. And then I put a slash, and then I put what I paid for it. And this item came from the 99-cent sale. So I put 99 cents. I'll scroll down to description. It just says what the title says. And then underneath of it, I'll write in excellent pre-owned condition, period. See photos for measurements, period. And that's all I do in there. Then for pricing, I'm just doing it a buy it now, and I'm going to put mine for $19.99. So change that to $19.99. And then now we're going to go to shipping. So this is where I'm going to slide it into the bag. This is the bag that it gets stored in, and then eventually we'll ship out inside a poly bag with this. Put it on the scale, and it weighs 10.2 ounces. So once I add a regular package to it, it'll be 12 ounces. So I change my weight to 12 ounces. My bag's gonna be roughly like 12 by 10 by like 1 is fine. Put that in, and it's in for first class. So it'll change the shipping that it's between $6.15 and $6.65. I require immediate payment, so I click that on, and I promote most of my clothing items to 5%, so I'm going to do that, and it is ready to list. Hit my list item. Hopefully I didn't screw anything up. Sometimes if you forget something, it'll come on the screen and say, you're missing this. Nope, it says it's a success. Then I slap my label number on it, and it just gets put in this box. And as you've seen where I showed earlier in my video, those are all the boxes of all the clothes listed there. And that is our listing process. I'm gonna do the exact same thing with a pair of jeans now. And I normally list about 20 items a day, give or take. It takes me a couple hours with photographing and listing, depending what the items are. But overall, it's a pretty straightforward and simple process. Thank you so much for all of those that submitted a question. I know there's some I didn't get to, especially a lot of people ask questions about weights. I think our next video is gonna concentrate on
the weight side of the business. So Justin will get to be the star of that one. And if you could see his face right now, you would see how excited he is. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any more questions you want to ask, put them down in the comments and I can answer them in a future video. All right, you all take care. I'll see you next time. Bye. No.